got to get on with this. I got to increase my desire. And it will push you and pull you to create your dreams. And the other suggestion I have to increase your desire is go bigger than you. Create your why that is bigger than you, because a lot of people work on acquiring money. I know I did all my life. I focused on how do I fill up my bank account? But guess what? I was chasing money and it kept eluding me. But as soon as I focused on helping people, as soon as I focused on giving, as soon as I focused on understanding that I'm here to make this world a better place, the money has been fucking flowing more than it ever has, because I don't focus on it. I do have a Power On Audio Club. I do have a business, but I didn't come out here tonight thinking, ooh, how many people can I sign up? How much money can I make? No, my intention before this was how many lives can I change? How many mothers can I speak to? And how many kids can hear what their mothers learned, and those kids' lives will be changed. So that's what motivates me. And I haven't worked a day in 3 years. And I've worked my ass off, but I haven't worked a day in 3 years because I love what I do. My why, my desire is bigger than me. My desire is to end suicide on this planet. So that's what I focus on. And what happens when you create that focus? Your content changes. The things you create, the things you come up with change. Well, get this, everybody. You don't need money to become successful. I was bankrupt. I had $100 in my bank account when I went to hypnotherapy school 3 years ago. I had just enough to get into school. And guess what I did at 40 years old? Is I worked at a supplement store in Vancouver, the most expensive city in the world, one of them. I worked for $15 an hour. I have a double major, a degree. I've worked for some of the largest corporations in this country. I've been a millionaire, and I went bankrupt, and I worked in a fucking supplement store standing behind a till saying, would you like a chocolate monkey? Would you like double protein in your shake, sir? Would you like a bucket of, it was the best thing that I ever did. It gave me a chance to heal myself. I worked on Saturdays and Sundays while I built my hypnotherapy practice. So get this, everybody. I want you to leave tonight excited, because I'm no different than you. 3 years ago, I had nothing. And what ended up happening is that I ended up, like I said, focusing on helping people and giving. So I started going online. I started the Power On movement. There were 0 people in the Power On movement when I started the Facebook group. There's almost 11,000 people in there. And I haven't spent a cent on any marketing for that. My podcast gets from 1,200 to 1,500 downloads every week. And I'm not bragging to you. I'm not one of those guys coming out saying, fuck, you see the car out there? You see how awesome I are? That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to get you excited that you don't have to have a lot of money to be successful, but you got to have the desire. And the desire is fueled by your why. So I've said that a few times. Again, I want to repeat, the only thing standing between you and your goals is skill set and desire, and you can acquire the skills, but things won't change until you do. Things won't change until you do. That's a super important thing to understand, because I think a lot of people are suffering right now on this planet, and I was one of them, but you keep waking up every day doing the same things over and over. And I'm sorry, but it won't change that way. You have to change. But that's where the bald-headed bearded beast comes in, and that's where I'd like to keep coming back out here and help you guys make those changes, because I made them. You can make them. If I can make them, you can make them. So foundational beliefs. You guys can take this or leave it, but this is something that I think it's important to share with you, because this is how I've created faith and the ability to let go and to believe that good things are happening. Because one of the hardest jobs as an entrepreneur is to convince yourself every day that what you're dreaming of can come true. And I am Mr. Power On. I'm the one teaching other people how to become a successful entrepreneur. And I have days where I'm in fear. I have days where I'm in doubt. So your biggest job is going to be convincing yourself every day that your dreams can come true. So here's the foundational beliefs that I base my life off of. And I believe this based on the feedback I've had from other groups that I've talked to and shared this to for the first time. Whew, got to remember to breathe. Foundational beliefs is that this is how you have become. So, and if you've heard this before, it's repetition, but repetition is a good thing, because we all learn and it goes in one ear out the other. So it's very important to keep hearing things over and over. So they say 5% of your mind is conscious, 95% of your mind is subconscious. Your subconscious mind holds your beliefs. It holds your memories. It holds your emotions. It's basically your operating system is your subconscious mind. It's the supercomputer. And these beliefs are like the programs that tell the operating system what to create. So you are basically a computer system in a way, and you have been programmed. And these programs are your belief system. Well, from about 0 to 7 years old, your subconscious mind was completely open. So you have been downloaded, you have been programmed by victims of victims. So your parents, their uncles and aunts, your teachers, everybody that was around you from 0 to 7 or a little later had a massive impact on determining who you are today. This is super important, and this can change your whole life. If you understand, if you've got depression, if you've got anxiety, if whatever you have right now, it doesn't mean that it's a life sentence. It doesn't mean that you're fucked up and that there's something massively wrong with you. It means you've got faulty beliefs. It means you haven't learned how to live and thrive, because the education system takes that away from us. But my point is, your main programming is from an early age. I think it's the Jesuits. I'm not a religious person, but I had heard someone mention this. They say, show me the boy or show me the woman at 7, and I'll show you the man or the woman. So what they're saying is, show me the boy at 7 and I'll show you the man. They understand this, that your programming happens in an early age. Well, all of us got programmed by victims of victims, because unless your parents went to had a session with the bald-headed bearded beast, which they didn't, or another hypnotherapist, they're transferring their faulty beliefs to you. So it's generational. But this is super exciting because you can reprogram yourself. You can change those beliefs. So what are the faulty beliefs that I held? Well, my mom attempted suicide and committed suicide. So I had beliefs when I was a young kid, because she wasn't healthy earlier than that. My dad was moving, always traveling on a plane, always away. I took on the belief that I wasn't enough. And I can almost guarantee you that the 28 people on this call, you all have some of that in you. You don't feel enough. And when you don't feel enough, it leads to I'm not worthy and deserving. And it leads to I'm bad. And guess what that leads to? Procrastination. That leads to not taking action on your business. That leads to you showing up here tonight because you want this bigger than anything you've ever had, but you won't take the action. And most people won't take the action because they're stopping themselves because their program says they don't deserve it. If the computer system has a program in it that says this person does not deserve money because they're not worthy and deserving, this person doesn't deserve to be happy, that's what it's going to create. I had other faulty beliefs. The last time, this is heavy stuff, but this is important. The last time I saw my mom, I got mad at her. So I had a belief that I killed my mom. I had a belief that I was a bad boy. So I created a life which fulfilled that. I had a belief that that because of all the trauma I went through in childhood, that being stressful would keep me safe. Being stressed out would keep mom alive. I was still living with that at 40 years old. So again, I go back to the fact that once you identify these faulty beliefs and reprogram them, you can change your whole life. The second most important thing I need you to understand is that all thought is creative. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, the most important skill that you need to learn is to become a deliberate thinker. You need to learn how to control your thoughts, because where focus goes, energy flows. What you think, you create. All thought is creative. Every single thing that you see in the room around you was created with a thought. So if you're sitting there at a computer and you're working on your business and you place an ad or you do a post and you say to yourself, this ain't going to work, it won't work, it probably won't fucking work, because you're creating what you think. You need to change that mindset. You need to say, this post is going to be awesome. Every day I repeat to myself 3 statements. One of them is, I am inviting and attracting Power On Audio Club members into my life. So if you guys, to make money, need to attract clients into your life, that's what you should be saying every day. I'm inviting and attracting new clients into my life. I'm inviting and attracting team members into my life. Exactly. Set the intention. Because the problem is that 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those thoughts are the same. So if those thoughts say the same, you're going to continue to create the same reality. And it's very hard to change those thoughts if you have a belief system in the supercomputer that believes that you're a bad person. So you got to come home to yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to identify your faulty beliefs and you have to reprogram them. You have to become what I call the observer. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment. You need to become the observer and start watching your thoughts and becoming a deliberate thinker. Because if you are thinking about the worst case scenario, you will create a bad scenario. I've lived my whole life like this. I come from Irish descent, and the Irish are the experts at worrying and ruminating. So I became an expert ruminator and an expert worrier. And then I went to hypnotherapy school, and the teacher's like, your mind is always listening to you. Your mind is creating what you tell it, and your mind is taking orders from you. And I was like, my whole life changed. It was like, holy geez, I gotta stop. I gotta get in front of this. I gotta change this, because no wonder I continue to have shit unfold in front of me, because I keep thinking about and worrying about the shit in front of me, and it shows up because you create what you think about. But what's exciting is when you learn to change that thinking and change your vibration, it is super exciting to see what comes into your life. If you want to write this one down, this is super powerful. The quality of your life is always going to be based on the conversations you're having with yourself. The quality of your life is always going to be based on the conversations you're having with yourself. And I used to be an entrepreneur that used to sit there. I was a realtor. I'd sit there at home and say, this won't work. How am I going to do this? This won't happen. Well, guess what? It didn't work. It didn't happen because I was immobilized. I didn't take any action. I was in so much fear. I had low self-esteem. I had self-doubt. But I've got news for you. You can change all that. If you come home to yourself, if you forgive yourself and give yourself permission to be successful. If you think that you're bad for something that you did and continually beat yourself up, you're not going to allow yourself to have this massive amount of abundance. The other thing I want to tell you, and you guys can take it or leave it again, but we are energy beings having a human experience. You give off a vibration, and that vibration has a frequency, and quantum physics has shown this, and modern science shows this. The desk has a vibration. The plants have a vibration. That's how the gazelle knows, that's how the zebra knows that the lion is coming, because they communicate energetically. That's how two cats can see each other and start hissing or not make a noise with each other. Cats and animals communicate by energy, and so do we. Now, again, this is my opinion. If you meet anybody that tells you that this is for sure exactly how it works and that they know everything, we don't know everything. We're all making guesses on how this works. But I can tell you, this has changed my life understanding this. You get back what you feel. You get back what you feel. The most important thing that you need to do every day is make yourself feel as good as you can, and the universe will match that. It's like your vibration has a frequency and it connects with the quantum field and it changes the reality. And trust me, I come from Calgary, Alberta. I grew up with guys with on the oil rig, and we used to beat each other up on Electric Ave. And that's why I say, fuck, like, trust me, I'm not one of those spiritual woo-woo people that is standing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm trying to tell you is I'm a pretty traditional masculine male dude, and I'm telling you that I have proven this in my life. I want to repeat this again and again and again, because a lot of entrepreneurs don't get this. Your main job is to feel as good as you can. I want to tell you a fun story. I had a client, online entrepreneur. We started working together. He was doing $25,000 a month in his business every month, consistently. We focused on raising his vibration. So we went to bed by 10 o'clock every night. And take notes on this, because this is a free download of a lot of powerful information. He went to bed at 10 o'clock every night. He didn't eat 3 or 4 hours before bed. He did yoga. He meditated and let go. He became the observer and changed the conversations he was having with himself. He ate healthy foods. He stopped drinking alcohol. He stopped doing drugs. Guess what happened to his business? He spent less money on ads. $54,000 that month. And I could get a test. I've seen it. And then I started to apply this information to other online entrepreneurs that that took my information, because most people don't take the information I give them because they're blocked and they don't take action. It's just like having this magical tool in your drawer and you never pull it out. We've all been there. It's like the rebounder that sits on the floor that nobody uses, or the pieces of equipment. But I've had lots of clients, and a lot of them are in Australia, where they would double, triple, or quadruple their income, and they still are, from focusing on what I'm sharing with you today. It's all about how you feel. It's all about your vibration. So if you're sitting there angry, the universe, the quantum field, is going to give you back more things to be angry about. But this is the hardest part most entrepreneurs don't understand, is that health is the real wealth. Because you can have $20 million, but if you're sick, that Lamborghini ain't going to come visit you in the hospital. So what I'm teaching you is super cool. That's why I specialize in human optimization. If you focus on your whole health, if you focus on raising your vibration and making yourself feel as good as you can, you're going to have your health, and the wealth will come. If you guys are doing this to attract team members, your vibration is everything. My client that went from 24,000 to 54,000, Garrett Francis, said that it was like he'd get on a call with people and people just wanted a piece of what he was vibing. People aren't joining your teams and investing with you because they think you have a big car. They want what you have. They want to feel like you feel. They want to feel excited. They want to feel powerful. They want to feel the energy that you feel. And if you're not attracting people, then I would suggest looking at that side of yourself. And again, age isn't a matter. It doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter what color your eyes are or what color your hair is. You'll always attract your tribe. And on a side note, it's super important that you be the real you, that you be authentic. I promise you. I started doing the Power On movement. I wore a love hat. I don't have it in here, but it had a big love on it. I dyed my beard. I was going through a phase where I didn't like the gray. I had this big Jesus beard. I was saying fuck a lot on Go Lives, and my family wanted to do an intervention. They're like, you're messed up. People aren't going to use you for hypnotherapy. Well, guess what happened? 11,000 people later, it fucking worked. And every client that came to see me liked the F word. So if I had been fake and didn't swear on these talks, I would attract all sorts of people that would come and see me for a one-on-one session. And then obviously I'd drop the F-bomb and they'd be offended and we wouldn't get along. Fuck. Sharon said, fuck's my favorite word, lady. It is the most versatile word in the human language, and it makes me smile because a lot of people don't listen to me because I say it, and that's something I want to share you. I don't give a fuck because I'm being the real me, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean, if you try and keep everybody happy, it'll never work. And a lot of you are struggling with this right now. A lot of you, I imagine, are learning to do videos and learning to be the real you. And a lot of you are holding back from being the real you because you believe other people will judge you for being the real you. That's the wrong answer. Be the real you. I tell people that if you want to wear unicorn hats, if you have this thing about wearing a unicorn hat, if you started a group on Facebook for unicorn hat wearing people, you would have hundreds of people join that group. I promise you, there's billions of people on this planet. But if you're not being authentic, people are craving authenticity these days. Everybody's being fake. I don't know about you guys, but I am sick and tired of seeing online marketing posts of people saying the same stuff over and over. We need you to be authentic. We need you to be real. And you're going to attract your tribe. And then you're going to get a team full of people that are on the same radio station with you. Does that make sense? You've got to portray who you are so that the people on your team are on the same vibe. Don't be afraid to be the real you. That's one of the biggest things I want to tell you tonight. You are fucking awesome. The real you is awesome. And once you figure out how awesome you are, magical things will happen in your life. And if they're not happening right now, part of it is because you don't think you're awesome. And part of it is because you need to forgive yourself. Now, we're talking about some real stuff, and you may not thought this is what I was going to tell you about, because most people come out here and say, you've got to do this with your ad, you've got to spend this on that. That's all important, but you're creating more based on your vibration. So again, energy beings, your main job every day when you get up is to feel as good as you can. And I'm going to give you one tip right now to use every morning when you wake up. I was watching this movie and there was an old guy in the bed and he was sick and he was dying. And he got his wife to lean down and speak to him. And he couldn't bring his head off the pillow. And he said to his wife, "I wish I only would have known how simple it was. If you wake up in the morning, you have everything you need to be happy." It's super powerful. If you wake up, you have been given this massive gift. Just learn to be grateful for the fact that you can go to the bathroom. Be grateful for the fact that you have legs and arms, if you have them. Be grateful that you can see. Be grateful that you can hear. Be grateful that you can speak. This is what I call the cheat code to life, because we're all missing out on this. Most people, I'm not, but most people are missing out on this. And I used to wake up in the morning and think about what's missing. Think about what's wrong. But I challenge you for 30 days to wake up every morning and to give thanks for all the basics that you've been ignoring. You've been given a massive gift. I think it's something like 1,500 people die every hour. We're all fucking super blessed to be here right now. This is a party. I don't care how much money you have in the bank. I don't care if you're not where you want to be. You're alive. And when we get to our deathbed, we're going to realize that we had everything we need to be happy. Woo! I'm going to take a deep breath here for a second. Challenge accepted. Awesome. The cheat code to life. Wake up every morning and realize that you have been given a massive gift. The reason that that's important, my friend, is that the dreams never change. You're going to get to one destination and then it's going to change. You ever notice that? Deferred happiness is what we've all been programmed with. Oh, I'll be happy when. And what happens? You get to the weekend. And I'm going to give you, at the end of this, I'm going to give you a few things to do for your 30-day challenge, and your life will change if you actually take action. And I'm choosing that all 31 people on this call actually take action for this 30-day challenge. So, see, that's what happens when you get old and you start getting excited. I don't even fucking remember what I was telling you about, but it'll come back. I got lots of stuff to talk to you about. Letting go. That's so funny. Jesus. But see, here's the scoop. Here's an example. I'm not perfect, and you don't need to be perfect, okay? You don't need to be perfect. It's okay if you don't do everything perfectly. Nobody does everything perfectly. But gratitude, wake up in the morning and practice this. Say, I have everything I need to be happy today because I can see, I can hear, I can breathe. And if you actually shift your life from that perspective, everything changes. So mindset shifting tools. So contrast is not going away. So what do I mean by contrast? I mean, how do I know how much I appreciate the sunshine because the rain was there? How do I know the good days because I've had the shitty days? It's not going anywhere. But for you to have a magical life and to thrive, one of the skills that you're going to need to learn how to do is a shifting tool. And that means that you learn how to quickly shift yourself from one mood to the next, because pain is mandatory, but suffering is a choice. Super powerful. Pain is mandatory, but suffering is a choice. You are a divine manifesting creator. You are super, super powerful. We as humans have no idea how powerful we are. I think it's the 4-minute mile. I have to get this right before I tell stories, but bear with me that this is sort of close to the right story. I believe it was in the 40s. They didn't have great running shoes back then, but nobody did a 4-minute mile. Yes, 4-minute mile. Nobody did that. Nobody could do it. And everybody said, there's no way you can do it. And some dude came along and said, I'm going to fucking do it. He did it. The next year, 33 people did it, or whatever the number is. The year after that, 300 people did it. And if you can't do a 4-minute mile right now in football, you're not even on the field. So what does that tell you? That's the belief system. The collective consciousness of the human race is so low compared to our true potential. You are a divine manifesting creator. You're an energy being. You're super powerful. You can create whatever you put your mind to. But again, you got to focus on your vibration And to raise your vibration, you've got to forgive yourself, love yourself, and start treating yourself well. Start eating well. Start doing all the things that raise your vibration. Mindset shifting tools. I'm going to talk for another 15 minutes, and I'm going to take a breath, and then I'm going to answer some questions. Letting go. Letting go. So what do I mean by letting go? A lot of people call it meditating, but if you haven't done this before, I wouldn't start by calling it meditating, because people meditate and then they say, I can't meditate. You can let go. So how do I suggest letting go to start out for beginners? Lay on your back, lay on a yoga mat, set your alarm for 30 minutes, put headphones on, find some delta waves. I'll tell you about the Power On Audio Club at the end very quickly, but you can get my hypnosis audios there. Hypnosis audios or delta waves. Press play, shut your eyes, your alarm's set, take some deep breaths in through your nose, in and out. Give yourself permission to take a break from solving problems and just focus on my voice or focus on the music and your breathing. Your mind will wander, bring your focus back to your breathing. Your mind will wander, bring your focus back to your breathing. Remember, one of the greatest addictions of our time is thinking. One of the greatest addictions of our time is thinking. So it's going to take some practice to learn how to stop thinking. But you lay on your back, you press play, and I got to tell you, from someone that had PTSD and generalized anxiety, this changed my whole life, because the only way I was able to let go was with drugs, marijuana, getting fucked up on ecstasy, or drinking booze, or whatever I did when I was younger. That's the only way that I could let go. And when I did yoga, and after yoga was the Shavasana, and I learned how amazing it is. There is everything you seek inside of you. Everything you seek is inside of you, my friends. All the love, all the safety, all the answers to all your problems, they're all inside of you, but you've been educated and you've been programmed to go without. But if you go without, you literally go without. So you need to start going within. And what happens is when you let go, it quiets your linear mind. Because most of you, I can almost guarantee you, spend your whole day in fight or flight in your head solving problems. Most of you are spending the whole day ruminating and trying to solve problems in your head. Well, guess what? What you focus on, you create, and that creates resistance and turns off the flow of abundance. You need to get yourself floating downstream. Most people are swimming upstream, and people can create financial success swimming upstream. That's the old school philosophy of entrepreneurship. But guess what? They don't have their fucking health. When you stop struggling, you float. It's like a cork. You've got to learn to let go of the resistance. All of this thinking is saying no. You're saying no to the universe all the time when you try and tell yourself it won't work or try and figure it out. So you have to start saying yes, but you need to take a break from linear thought. So when you let go, you raise your vibration more than anything you've ever done, because you align yourself with source energy. There is this common energy amongst all of us, and it is vibrating love, compassion, empathy, and it is inside of you. It's fucking incredible. You'll never feel lonely again if you learn how to let go. So that's the first tip I have for you. So if you're having a shitty afternoon, lay down on your back for 30 minutes and let go to delta waves or my hypnosis audio. It balances your brain waves and leads to brain coherence, which leads to optimized neural communication, which leads to positive thinking. I've popped very depressed people out of depression by trance therapy. And you can use that with my hypnosis audios. You can use that yourself at home. A lot of you might be having a depression and anxiety right now because your brain waves aren't balanced. I remember working with a drug addict, a lady that was an accountant, and she had a small baby. She was living at her mom's, normal woman, got addicted to opiates. She was coming off drugs. She was sober, or whatever the word is. And we did one session where a letting go session. I did it over Zoom, and her mom cried because her face came back. And she explained to me that drug addicts use drugs because they don't know how to let go. So I promise you, letting go it'll change your whole life. Number 2, this is super cool. Living in the now. Most of you are living in the past or the future. Guess what? You're living stories. 99% of that is all bullshit. And I had a session with a therapist on Friday. It doesn't take weakness to ask for help. We all need help. We all need coaching. So I get my own coaching. I get my own tune-ups. Would a professional figure skater go to the Olympics without a coach? No. Would a professional basketball player get there without a coach? No. So why do us humans believe that we don't need coaching or therapists or hypnotherapists or whatever? But what we talked about is the zebra. And I don't know why I never thought of this, but if you take a zebra and a lion approaches the zebra, fight or flight kicks in the zebra. All the blood goes to the legs, and digestion shuts down, logical reasoning shuts down, everything shuts down except get me the fuck out of here. So that zebra runs fast and gets away. But that zebra's life was almost in danger. 3 hours later, that zebra is eating some grass by the river. Is it thinking about the lion? Nope. And I was like, fuck, I don't know why I never thought of that. We have the same primitive brain. The zebra lives in the now. The zebra is not living they would be stressed. All zebras would be dead. All animals would be dead, suffering from the same diseases that humans are because they'd be in fight or flight all the time. My logical thinking is that zebra 3 hours later is still shitting its pants because that lion almost ate it for dinner. But it's not. Animals don't live like that. We're the only stupid species on this planet that thinks and lives like we're being attacked by a predator all the time. There are no predators in the now. There's very few predators in the now. Practice it. It's part of your 30-day challenge. When you start thinking about the future, you bring yourself back to the now. When you start thinking about the past, you bring yourself back to the now. Living in the now is a major shifting tool. If you're feeling anxious, stop it. Say it doesn't exist. I'm going to be the zebra. I'm practicing this myself. I'm being the zebra because this COVID situation triggered some anxiety in me, and I found out that it's anticipatory grief, which can be triggered from someone that's had a traumatic childhood like I did. So you start to anticipate that you're going to have a big loss because of what's going on around the world. But the zebra thing is really helping me because I just be the zebra. If my mind starts thinking about what might happen, I go, no, I'm a zebra. I don't think about that. I'm going to live here right now. So be the zebra. Live in the now. There's no predators in the now. And when your mind is messing with you, say, no, it's not true. It's a lie. And I'm going to be the zebra. It's going to take some practice because you've been so programmed to be in the future or to be in the past. I got programmed that worrying is going to keep me safe. Being in fear is going to keep me safe. But if you believe what I told you about it, everything you think you create, that's a whole bunch of bullshit. So I'm currently still working on changing those hardwired patterns that I've got to sit around and ruminate. Number 3 on my list is becoming the observer. And this is another thing for your 30-day challenge. So these top 3 things are on your 30-day challenge. Letting go for 30 minutes a day. Hypnosis audios from the Bald-Headed Bearded Beast or someone else, and delta wave music. Let go 30 minutes a day. Do your best to be the zebra. And if you need, have some fun with it. Say, I'm a fucking zebra. But be the zebra. Live in the now as much as you can. Number 3 on my list is becoming the observer. This one will completely radically change your whole life. It may freak you out in the beginning if you haven't done this already because you're going to realize how many shitty conversations you're having with yourself. Do you know why most of you are suffering? Is because you're beating yourself up all the time. Most of you are being the bad coach to yourself. You're in the starting blocks on the race, and a version of you who is the bad coach is sitting on the sidelines and saying, you can't do this. You're not good enough. Your feet aren't fast enough. You're not good looking enough. No one's going to listen to you. No one wants to hear what you have to say. That's a fucking horrible way to exist. I would be exhausted too. And I was exhausted all the time because I was being the bad coach. So what is observing? It means you live in the now, and it means you start observing your thoughts. And I got a question for you. How the hell can you observe your thoughts? Because you are not your thoughts, my friend. You are an energy being, and you are bigger than your thoughts. But you start observing your thoughts. You notice there's different levels to this, but you start off with the basics. You just take it real simple. You notice a negative thought, you change it right away to the powerful, positive opposite. You fake it till you make it, even if you don't believe it. When you say that powerful positive opposite, those neurons in your brain fire together and they wire together, and then they create neuronal clusters. You're going to enter the mind gym for the next 30 days. My bicep didn't get big. Well, I think it's big. It's not as big as some other people's, but my bicep muscle didn't get the way it is right now from going to the gym fucking once. I went to the gym every day for 20 years, consistency, and that's what you're going to have to start doing. Every day you're going to enter the mind gym. If you don't enter the mind gym, you're going back to sleep and you're living your life based on the programs in your subconscious mind. So you're just going to keep recreating the same thing over and over and over. So your job is to become the observer and to become the good coach. It is a lifestyle, right, Tegan? It is something that you're going to have to be committed to for the rest of your life. But once you forgive yourself, once you do work on yourself and start to love yourself, the conversations get better. And then it gets exciting because you become a deliberate thinker, thinking about things that actually bring you joy and happiness. So I'm encouraging you all to become the good coach. Now, if you have a thought that says the guy walking towards me in a dark alley looks dangerous, don't change it to no, he's super nice and he's going to give me a hug. That's not what I'm fucking saying. So I'm not saying don't use the good coach on everything in your life, okay? If there's a car coming at you, oh, that car won't hit me. That's not what I'm saying. But it's these general conversations that you're having throughout the day. So if you notice a thought that says, oh, I can't do this go live. Yes, I can. I love you, Adrian. You're going to do amazing on that go live. Oh, I can't lose weight. I love you, Adrian. Yes, you can. You're going to lose weight easily. You're going to learn how to lose weight. Oh, I can't make money online. I love you, Adrian. Yes, you can. You're going to do amazing online. If you took a kid, if any of you have kids right now, and you spoke to them the way you speak to yourself, they'd be a fucking mess. They wouldn't get anything done. They wouldn't. And that's why a lot of you are not getting anything done, because you're sitting there thrashing on yourself all the time. As I repeat, you got to come home to yourself and you got to forgive yourself, and loving yourself doesn't happen overnight. But tonight I'm choosing that the 28 people on this call go look in the mirror and say, I'm committed to learning how to love you. I may not know right now, but I'm committed to learning how to love you, because the most important relationship you're ever going to have is with yourself. And if you want to have better relationships with people around you, you've got to learn how to love yourself, because people are treating you the way you tell them to treat you. People treat you the way that you treat yourself. And it's a bit more complicated in abusive relationships. And I'm not saying that it's all your fault. I'm just saying, watch it happen. Create a shift. Change the relationship you have with yourself, and you'll see these external relationships change. I got 5 more. A good question for you in the morning. Most of you are waking up in the morning saying, what can go wrong today? I know I was. Here's the question. What can go right today? This is super powerful. I have it. I can't show you, but it's right there in front of me on the wall. It's right in front of me on the wall when I wake up in the morning in the bedroom. It's in there, not over there. And it's in front of the toilet. What can go right today? So in the morning, I was getting up when in the middle of COVID, I went back into these old patterns, and I'd wake up in the morning and my mind would start going, what can go wrong today? Well, if I focus on what can go wrong, I'm going to create that. Well, what could go right today? I woke up this morning and I said, I'm going to have an amazing podcast episode. What can go right today? I'm going to change some lives with this group tonight that I speak to. What can go right today? Ask yourself this question. In the evening, ask yourself, what can go right tonight? Before you go to bed, what can go right tomorrow? It's super powerful. The 5th thing on my list is surrendering. If you suffer from ruminating, if you suffer from anxiety, it's because you're fucking battling that thought that's in your head. Have you ever noticed that these negative thoughts never submit? I call the negative Nancy, Debbie Downer, loser Larry. I don't know. Debbie Downer and negative Nancy are my 2 favorite. And they never fucking throw in the white towel. Have you ever noticed that? When you're wrestling them, they never quit. And if you do win, they bring up something else to start beating you with. So next time you're in the ring with Debbie Downer and negative Nancy, put your hands down. Say, I quit. I surrender. Surrendering ain't weakness. Surrendering is having the knowledge and the wisdom to understand that you can't win the fight that you've been fighting. And so I walk out of the ring. And negative Nancy and Debbie Downer are sitting there screaming at me. I don't give a shit. I leave. Surrender. Just forget about it. Stop. all of us have been like programmed to keep trying to convince Debbie Downer and negative Nancy, but it ain't going to happen. They're never going to stop. Self-nurturing is a big one. And again, the bald-headed can't even speak. The bald-headed bearded beast. I'm almost 6'3" tall, 210 pounds. I spent my whole life pushing and pulling steel. I've got a bald head and a big beard. And I'm going to tell you right now that one of the most important things you need to do is start telling your inner child that you love them. Self-nurturing. You need to start telling your inner child all the things that no one else fucking told them. So I tell little Adrian, I know when I started my online venture, I'm like, why am I blocking myself right now? And then it was like, oh, because I'm bad. And then I remembered that I was told from grade 2, because I acted out in school, because the school system's a fucking joke and it's designed to create conformity and sheep and put people to sleep. So I was smart enough in grade 2 to start goofing off and realize that this is messed up. We're supposed to be outside running around and doing experiential games and learning this way. But anyway, I discovered 3 years ago that I thought I was a bad boy. So I'm walking down the seawall in Vancouver saying to myself, I love you, Adrian. You're a good boy. You're a good boy, Adrian. You're a good boy, Adrian. Now, I wasn't saying that out loud, but I would have. I don't give a shit because I don't care what anybody fucking thinks because I love myself and I'm okay with myself. And I want you guys to have that because that's freedom. So I'm walking down the seawall and I'm like, I love you, Adrian. You are a good boy. And I tell myself that all the time. I had jealousy. Here's a fun story. I had jealousy with Joy. I spent 2.5 years celibate, no sex, no women. When I started my hypnotherapy practice, I focused. It was the best thing I ever did because dating women until this point were my kryptonite. And I'm not saying women were kryptonite. It was the women I was choosing and it was me because I was codependent and I was depending on these women to make me happy. But it's super, super, super funny because I moved to Thailand and the first restaurant I go to in my neighborhood is called One Love. And I fell in love with a lady named Joy. So the bald-headed bearded beast whose mission is to make self-love go viral got married in September to a Thai Swedish lady that he met at the restaurant called One Love. I like that story. Anyway, so my point is that, wow, I'm having a tough time today. Fuck, Jesus, the second time. This is the first time in front of anybody that I've lost what I'm saying, but it'll come back to me. Just give me 1 sec. Unreal. But you know what? There's something in the air because before I turned my computer on today, the freaking computer wouldn't even load. The bike ride. Thank you. Because I forgot the first one. Can you imagine me fucking coming out here tonight and I forgot 2 things I was going to tell you? I promise I didn't smoke any weed before this. I promise that's not what it is. Too funny. But Joy was a super, super big part of my life. And I'm riding on my scooter and I'm getting used to being in a relationship with somebody again. And all the triggers are coming up, all the things that used to make me jealous and insecure because I always used to confuse my girlfriends with mom and abandonment and stuff. I'm riding my scooter. She's with her guy friend and I'm having massive anxiety. I pull over to the side of the road and I say, why am I feeling like this? I just quieted myself and closed my eyes. I didn't do it while I was riding my scooter. And the answer came to me is that you're scared mom will die. What? Mom's dead. But the little kid inside of me was scared that Joy was going to leave like mom did. So what did I do? I started talking to little Adrian. Little Adrian, you're okay, buddy. I'm here now. Joy is not mom. Mom is dead. It's okay. I'm strong. I'm here for you. Everything's going to be okay. I use self-nurturing. Try it out sometime. Nurture your inner child if you're having panic attacks or anxiety. There is a little person inside of you that has been waiting to hear from you, my friend. And they want to hear how amazing they are. They want to hear how enough they are. They want to hear that you believe in them. And they want to hear that you love them unconditionally because maybe somebody never, ever fucking told you that. It's super powerful. It's super huge. And I'm just really glad I remembered that story. Woo! I don't know what happened. I don't normally do talks at the end of the day. And well, you know what? I've been up since 4:30 this morning. So we'll give the bald-headed bearded beast an excuse. Number 7 is put that shit down, drop it like it's hot. Put that shit down, drop it like it's hot. So when you're having a thought, negative Nancy, and you don't remember surrendering, just drop it like you got a hot rock in your hand. You know, they pass around the hot rock. Just drop it. Drop it. Put that shit down, drop it like it's hot. Write it down, put it up. Just drop it. You don't need to wrestle it. You don't need to sit there ruminating this shit, and go focus on something that makes you feel good. If you're in a tough spot, if you're thinking hard thoughts, drop that shit, put it down, drop it like it's hot, and then start saying, I'm grateful I can see, I'm grateful I can hear, I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. 2 more. Whew. I think I pulled a muscle in the side of my abdomens because I was laughing so hard about the fact that I almost forgot another story. And this is on record too. You're not allowed to use this in any public, you're not allowed to use this video in any public promotion. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. Number 8 is tell yourself it is not real. So whatever you're stressed out about, say it's not real. Tell yourself that, because 99% of the things you're stressed out about aren't real. The last thing on my list, these are called power codes, and you want to use these in the middle of the night if you're sleeping. They're super powerful. So sometimes as an entrepreneur, you know, you got a lot of things going on. You got to pay the rent, you got to pay the bills, and there's all these different things looming, and you wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and you got kids, and you really need that fucking extra 2 hours sleep. You got to get up at 5. You really need it, but you can't get back to sleep because you're playing with Debbie Downer and Negative Nancy, and you keep fighting them in the ring. So what do? Say, let go. No thought. Let go. No thought. You're going to have to practice it. But if you want to get to sleep at night, say no thought. Let go. Your mind is listening to you. Your mind is taking orders from you, and your mind is creating what you tell it. Super, super important. And these power codes will work. And I've had mothers tell me that they taught this to their kids. I got a really cool story this week that the kid had, the lady's part of the Power On Audio Club, and I send out daily audios, 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day. And I shared this in one of the daily audios. Her son was 8 years old. He had a nightmare. She went in the room. She said, when you go back to sleep, Bobby or Robbie or whatever his name was, say no thought, let go. No thought, let go. The little boy came up to his mommy in the morning in a calm voice and said, Mommy, thank you so much for telling me that. I said no thought, let go, and I went straight to sleep. Your mind is listening to you. This could change your life. You just need to become the programmer. You need to change the beliefs. You need to change the operating system, and you need to change those conversations. So no thought, let go. All right, so that was probably one of the weirdest talks I've ever done. My laptop decided to reboot, and it said 18 minutes to go. And I was like, it was right at 4:30 my time. 18 minutes to go, and I'm like, no, it's going to be okay. It's going to work. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the good coach. Because old Adrian I would have got into fight or flight. I've never done a fucking Zoom from my phone. How am I going to do this? The computer's not going to work. This is going to suck. But I just said, no, it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. And I'm here, and it worked. So I want to finish off, and I want to answer any questions, but I want to finish off by telling you this. There's a lot of information on this video. I promise you this isn't coming from ego. The people that have applied this information and other parts of my information, their lives have completely changed. That's not me. That's just me being a messenger of the things that I've learned, that I've picked up from other people and I've discovered myself. But things will not change if you don't change. And Tegan put something in the comments that is super powerful. It's my favorite phrase. Everything is always working out for me. Repeat it over and over. I say that all the time. I say everything is always working out for me. I am inviting and attracting new Power On Audio Club members into my life. Joy and I are perfectly healthy. Those are my 3 go-tos. But everything is always working. Abraham Hicks, exactly, changed my whole life. Abraham Hicks, I was just going to tell you guys, check her out. You can watch videos on her. She'll change your whole life. She says that she channels to the other side, but I don't really give a shit where the information comes from, and I don't really know where it comes from. It doesn't matter. It makes sense. It changed my life. But to finish off, I want you all to understand that the reason you're here is because you're strong. The reason you're here is because you've recognized that normal's not working and that you're okay with doing something different. But you may be blocked right now. You may be blocked right now, but you can set yourself free. I used to suffer from PTSD. My mom and my uncle committed suicide. My programming is probably about as depressed and fucked up that you can get, but I've reprogrammed it in the mind gym. I live on the beach in the Andaman Sea in Thailand. I have a beautiful wife. We have a water view property that I'm planting garden in. I have more money in my bank account than I've ever had, and I love what I do. So I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just telling you, I also told you I lost everything in 2008. So if you're at ground zero right now, you can rebuild. You can rebuild like I do. But I'm going to finish off with saying this. You have to want it as badly as you want to breathe. You got to want it as badly as you want to breathe. You can't just get up every day and go, oh, I'm an online marketer. I'm going to post an ad and do a couple things here and then sit back and wonder why it's not working. It doesn't work like that. Whoo. So does anybody have any questions for me? Someone's got to have a question. It always goes quiet in the beginning, but here's the scoop. If you don't learn how to have the confidence to speak in public, then you're going to have a problem being an online entrepreneur, in my opinion. So someone have the courage to ask a question, please.
I've got a question.
Yay, you win the prize.
Yay.
The first one's always the worst.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Well, because you're a unicorn, do you want an M&M? It's got all the colours in there.
Nice, nice.
That was it.
That's your question.
You've written out. You've really inspired me. I think you're everything you delivered. I was like a nodding dog. I was like this, like yeah. And I think
awesome.
I've literally covered a whole bloody notebook over here. So,
awesome.
And I can relate to your story so much. It like hit me in the fucking heart with a knife. Like, yeah, big time. So it was amazing for me. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you coming out, and congratulations on having the courage to be you. And your background shows that, you know, the way you present yourself shows that you've done a lot of work to be okay with you. So
exactly.
Keep going. Keep going.
You.
Yeah.
Good on 100%. You. Oh, and can I get some of your audios? I'd love one.
PoweronAudioClub.net. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
I'm not here to sell you guys, but I am going to tell you that if you want to change your life, 10 minutes for me every day is changing people's lives. I've been absolutely blown away. We started it 3 months ago. It's PoweronAudioClub.net. Anybody else have a question?
I don't have a question, but I just want to say, like, from the first time that I saw you on a meeting like this before, was in another platform, I felt like I had all the marketing tools, everything that I needed was there, but I still felt like there was a brick wall up here and I just didn't know where to go. And once I started listening to you, listening to other personal development people, it was all the guilt, all the depression, all the, things that block you, money blocks coming from lack of everything. It wasn't till when things started to take off, and I could feel like I could, actually do something in the online space, and that I deserved it and I was worthy of having it, and that it was okay to stay home and work from home and not have to do the usual and go to work, what we're programmed to be. A massive one as well was with my son. He's really behind in school, and I always pressured him, like, what are you doing? Listen to the teacher, like, what are you doing? And then to learn that, we're being programmed from our parents and from school to go all that way. And I just let him kind of go after that. He's like come along himself, like, just because there's no pressure. So you haven't only affected me, you've affected my parenting, and, it's something that I can teach my kids now as well. Coping skills. So
amazing to hear that, Tegan. And everybody, I hope it's okay that I say, but we did a session together, and it's super, super made my whole day to hear that you've set yourself free, buddy, and that you've dealt with some of that stuff. It's living proof that it can change. It's living proof that it can change.
Yeah, definitely does. The letting go, it works. That helped me sleep better at night. It helped me wake up clearer. It helped me, because I remember I told you back then that I was like going off at my kids all the time. Like I was just snapping at them. And it just, I don't know, it allowed me to clear my mind at night or something. And I was able just to deal with everything calmly. And yeah, it works. It works.
Awesome.
And it's
awesome.
not, takes off that pressure of the whole meditation thing as well, because that can put a lot of pressure on, where it's just lay there. You don't have to.
If you're in your head and you're stressed and then someone tells you to go meditate and you've been ruminating and addicted to thinking all your life, meditation is the fucking last thing you want to do, because it's like, this is so annoying. My mind keeps wandering. But with the delta waves and with hypnosis combined, it's super powerful. And what happened to you, Tegan, so everybody else can understand, is anger and aggression comes partly because you haven't let go, because you're so wound up tight inside. And what happens when you let go? It's like putting yourself on a reboot on a charging station. And half an hour of letting go into trance can be more beneficial to your body than 6 or 7 hours of shitty sleep.
For sure. Yep. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me, Tegan. I'm super excited to be part of this group. Questions? No questions?
Can I ask a question, please, Adrian? It's Katie.
Please, you win this. You win a star, buddy.
Yay.
Good job. Yeah, you're a superstar.
Yeah. I just want to ask a question. Going back to your history on PTSD and depression, when was you diagnosed with all this?
So I had a really bad. The reason the reason I stayed away from sex and dating was because 3.5 years ago I had a really bad breakup and realized that there was one common denominator in all my bad relationships, and that was me. So I went to see a psychologist, and she asked me some questions, and she said, "I think you have PTSD." So the only thing I'll say, this is about 3.5 years ago. The only thing I'll say is that those diagnostics are not. I guess I used to be a pharmaceutical rep. I used to sell these drugs. I was inside the beast for 2 years. All I would say to anybody listening is be cautious with labels, because I could go see a psychologist or a psychiatrist right now and they could bring out that fucking questionnaire and say, do you do this? Do you do this? And I could say no. And they say you don't have PTSD. So a little bit of a long-winded answer, but go on, please. Did you have more of the question? Was it just
that was it really, yeah. And I've also got family in Vancouver. Whereabouts in particular in Vancouver?
I live downtown on Beach Ave, just in a little studio apartment.
Yeah. All right.
But
okay.
On that note, what I would like to share with everybody is if you have PTSD, if you have anxiety, you desperately have to start letting go. It's super important to create that calm, to create that safety. You want to get off caffeine. You want to, caffeine, if you have anxiety, is like throwing fuel on the fire. And if you're depressed, I highly recommend you get your blood work done. You get your hormones checked. You get your vitamin D checked. You get your B vitamins checked. If you need more of this information, let me know and I'll give it to you for free. But a lot of people are being diagnosed with depression right now and no one is checking. I'm very passionate about this. No one is checking the root cause. So if you eat before you go to bed, your body can't do all the wonderful things that it needs to do when you're sleeping. So one of those things is producing serotonin and dopamine. So if you eat before you go to bed, you can induce depression just by that. Yeah. And these are all the things that people aren't talking about or changing. If you have low vitamin D, you can be depressed. If you have a B12 deficiency, you can be depressed. If your estrogen's through the roof. But if you go see a doctor right now and tell them that you're depressed, they just write you a fucking drug and they don't check anything. If you go see a counselor, they say, come back next week, but they don't check anything. Do you know how many people on this planet are taking antidepressants? Millions, with simple, undiagnosed solutions. Being hydrated can cause depression. So I went off a bit, but you asked a powerful topic. I'm fucking super passionate about this because my mom got put on all sorts of drugs and every drug has its place. I've taken antidepressants. They are doing good things, but they're being prescribed like candy. And I'm asking all of you to share this with people that are depressed. Get your blood work done. Change how you eat before you go to bed. Change your food. be hydrated, start exercising. You don't have to suffer from the rest of your life, but almost nobody in the health profession is going to give you that full human optimization perspective. And it's a tragedy. And these kids are dealing with this now too. So I'm not going to say sorry because I'm not going to apologize for myself, but I appreciate you asking that question to allow me to go off.
That's good. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for asking.
I have a question.
Can I, oh, go on.
We all have questions
You go.
now, guys. Like,
Yeah,
Awesome.
someone got the ball rolling. Yeah, can I just ask, I hear a lot of these motivational stories, the inspiring stories, yours one of them as well, where someone's gone for that massive like low, gone for that massive breaking point, and it's like, I will not suffer anymore, and they then go out and break through. So I hear that all the time. In fact, most of the stories I hear are usually that. What if you're someone who's kind of in a comfortable life, you're still going about your work and your dream and stuff, but you're kind of in this comfortable situation where you don't have to do it. And it's like finding that extra bit level because you're not as much suffering. Your life is okay, is actually all right. What can you say for, that would be me, for example. Like, you know, you're kind of in that comfortable space, but you do want to go up. So I've been
Awesome.
on that path for about 2 years like that.
Awesome question. And what I call it, brother, is comfortably uncomfortable. And you may not be uncomfortable, but that is part of the challenge right now is people are comfortable. So what I'd suggest is going and losing everything. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding, brother. But sometimes losing everything is the best thing that will ever happen to you. And if any of you right now have lost everything, if you've been divorced, if you're newly divorced, if you're a single mom or whatever, I want you to understand that the best things that ever happened to me are the worst things that ever happened to me. And that's a real head trip, but it's true. So remember that. But to your question, my friend, if I was you, I would be focusing on that 85, 90-year-old version of myself. And I would focus on thinking about you sitting around on a couch at 80 years old going, oh my God, I lived my whole life comfortable, but I never actually lived. That terrifies me. That absolutely terrifies me is your day of reckoning. Do you know what I mean? Because so I would be reinforcing that. I would be thinking, you know, I only have one life. I only have one chance. I only have one chance to be the real me. And make sure that you understand that every day you don't do the things that you need to do, that you're denying yourself of that. And I believe we all need that to thrive. The other thing I would do is focus on helping people. Focus on solving a problem. It's incredible. Being comfortable is cool, but dude, I walked away from some of the highest paying jobs so that I could be here today speaking to you all, living my dream at 46. And it didn't happen until 3 years ago. It didn't happen until I was 43, but I got the rest of my life to live in passion. And I can tell you right now, there is nothing that compares to being passionate. You can't put a price tag on it. So I would increase your why. I would focus on the fact that you're here only once. And I would ask myself, mate, are you here just an economic transaction? Are you here to be comfortable? Are you here just to put digits in a bank account and feed yourself? And if your answer is yes, but what I'm getting from you, the fact that you're here is that you want more, right? So you got to find a way to push yourself. And the way I would push myself if I was you is what I said at the beginning, is really focus on, oh my God, am I going to live my whole life and never really lived? And maybe you got to also ask yourself, are there some faulty beliefs that are holding you back? You may think it's because you're comfortable, but is it because you're scared? Is it because you don't think you're enough? Is it because you don't think you're worthy? Because oftentimes we convince ourselves the reason we're not doing something is because of this, but it's actually this big basket of things over here, brother. So I would be taking a look at that too, because it's a lot easier not to take action than to take action and fail.
Yeah.
Right? But there's no failure. That's something I'll tell everybody right now. If you take action, you can't fail. You're learning. If you take action, you can't fail. Every successful entrepreneur will tell you that you have to get used to failing. Michael Jordan was the best 3-point whatever he was. He missed 10,000 shots. So we all believe that these people that do successful things have always been successful. Every master was a fucking disaster. But I'm telling you right now, it's better to be uncomfortable and chasing your green dreams and becoming who you truly are than to be comfortable and to live a whole life like you never lived, because that's going to be uncomfortable when you're older. Way more uncomfortable it is than pushing yourself into your uncomfortable zone right now. But when we're uncomfortable, we grow. So I hope I lit a bit of a fire under you, man. And I'd do some thinking about maybe it's not comfortable. Maybe there's something else to it. Maybe I don't really believe I could do it.
When you said that, when you said that, that was a bit of a breakthrough to what you said. Like you're telling yourself it's that, but actually could be something else. And so, yeah, that was interesting to hear that.
So then what your homework to do now, my friend, is to spend some time every day in silence, close your eyes and sit with this. And ask yourself questions. The subconscious will speak to you. So I'm super excited you asked the question, and congratulations on getting out of your comfort zone, and congratulations on becoming the greatest, most powerful version of yourself. And I say congratulations as if that's what you do with each other. Start doing that with your buddies. Call each other up and say congratulations on being a successful online entrepreneur, because you will create what you think about, and you can help each other create in powerful, manifesting ways. Great question, brother.
Nice one. Cheers, mate.
And before before we get to you, I mean, and I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. I know you guys may be, but you said something very powerful at the beginning. Momentum. Everybody's asking questions now because we've built momentum, but that's what you need to do with your business. That's why you can't just do one fucking post one day and expect to come back next week and to have success. You got to show up every day, even if it's 20 minutes. Every day, show up. Every day, show up a little bit, and you'll create momentum, and then the success will come. It's like the snowball. You're pushing the snowball up the hill, and then you get it over the hill, and it goes down the hill, and then it just builds into this big fucking thing that spreads snow everywhere. And I don't know if that makes sense, but please ask your question, my friend.
Okay, it's more of when you were talking about the law of vibration and stuff like that. I myself have been through mental health problems in the past. So I got diagnosed with panic disorder, depression, I suffered panic attacks, insomnia, Debbie Downer, fighting with them all the time. And since I started my network marketing journey, I feel that it's been more of a personal development journey. And in October last year, I was lucky enough to see Bob Proctor on stage. And since then, I started practicing and learning about the law of vibration. So ever since I've been doing that, and I've been practicing the letting go, I've practiced not drinking as much alcohol, eating better food, sleeping as much as I can to make up for all those lost years. And I am feeling like I'm constantly going through little breakthroughs and little I am there moments. Did you get the same? Because every day I wake up, I feel like I am getting more of those, oh my God, that's that now, and that's that now. Like it's like you make so many connections as to, hang on, I felt that way because of this. And it's like little mini breakthroughs constantly. Do you get the same?
First of all, congratulations, my friend. It's super exciting that you had the courage to share what you've been going through, and super amazing that you're making changes and you're living proof that you can set yourself free. I want to touch on one thing she said. She quit drinking alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant. Alcohol will sink you, and you will never create the success you need if you drink alcohol regularly. In my opinion, I'm very biased on it, but I've worked with a lot of people. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, because when I did suffer with my panic attacks, that's what I used to do, was drink to try and mask them. And it kind of, that created problems within itself. So over like the last year, I've been personal developing with all these little different things, and that is one of them. I mean, I haven't stopped drinking, but I don't drink the way I used to, because I've got a different relationship with it now. I can go out and have a glass of wine, and that's it. I choose not to go out with my friends now, or to drink with friends, because I know it's going to lower my vibration and lower the way I feel, and it's bad for my mental and physical health. more mental and vibration. But yeah, you just, it really resonated with me when you spoke about law of vibration, because that's what I've been practicing more than anything.
And to answer your question, my friend, and to preface what you said, is that if you have a glass of wine here or there, that's one thing, but most people can't control it. So I come to the extreme that you need to stay away from it, because people say, I don't drink, and it ends up being one every night, and that won't work. But what I want to get you excited about is that it's going to keep happening more and more. That's what I'm talking about, floating downstream in the river abundance, or swimming upstream in the river of scarcity. You're starting to learn how to float downstream. And when you get rid of linear thought, when you get rid of the resistance, and you live in the now, and you raise your vibration, you connect, you get downloads. It's fucking incredible. All the content I create, the podcast, the Power on Boost, 1,500 downloads every week with no marketing, because I let go all the time. I go for a walk down the beach and I'm like, holy fuck, Joe, I got to stop. And a 5-minute download, and I have this whole content. I don't struggle for things like I used to. So I'm really excited that you shared your story, because you're living proof that solutions will come. You're connecting to source energy. You're allowing yourself to communicate with this invisible field that they've known about for thousands of years. And it's super exciting. I'm super proud of you and super happy for you. Keep going.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for everything today.
I love your hair and your headphones, buddy. Keep being you. I got time for one more. Does anybody have a question?
I don't really have a question, but mine was just some takeaways. Like, I've got a page full of notes here. But for me, being one of the leaders in this team, I think a big takeaway for me was letting go. Because quite often I would sit there and kind of overthink, if people dropped out of the business, or they're not getting leads or sales or bringing people in, I would be thinking, what is it that I'm not doing, that I'm not teaching these people to be able to have success in the business? Or like, why did they join the business and after a month they drop out? And it would really affect me and think like I'm not doing enough as a leader. So for me, I think it's important that I have to let go of that and understand that, maybe these people haven't gone through this journey here. Maybe they're not applying those strategies for themselves, and they're just not, I guess, in that position in their life yet to be able to do something like this, or have success. So I've just got to let that go.
I'm really glad you mentioned that, my friend, because I think anybody listening to this, I want you to understand that the journey you're embarking upon to become a successful entrepreneur starts as a personal development journey. And you're going to look back at this and go, even if you didn't make a lot of money in the beginning, it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you, because you're on a mastermind like this and you're learning about this stuff. But it's Ali, right?
Yeah.
Ali, I was a personal trainer, and the reason I became a hypnotherapist, and you have to understand that you can bring a very thirsty horse to water, and the water can be as fresh as you can ever imagine. And if they don't believe that horse doesn't believe it deserves to have the water, it won't drink it. So you have to recognize that as a leader, you can bring people like me out. You can do whatever you can to show people the way. You can give them tools. But if someone's blocked, if someone's not taking action, I want you all to hear me loud and clear. 2,000 hours in one-on-one sessions with online entrepreneurs. Every single one of them that wasn't selling a product wasn't taking consistent action. Every single one of them. I didn't find one person that came on and said, I've been doing this regularly. I've been doing go lives. I've been doing posts. I've been following leads. I've got a group. I provide free information. I do this, I do that. And it's still not working. Not one person. And I can almost guarantee you that every single person that is quit or whatever, it's because of faulty beliefs or because they're not taking action. And I think what you'll find, my friend, is if you start letting go and filling up your cup and raising your vibration, you'll come up with these incredible downloads that might help your people more than trying to force it out of your head. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So thank you. That was definitely a big takeaway for me.
Awesome. Yeah. Keep going. I'm excited for
all
of you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you said one more question, but I've got a question.
No problem.
So with letting go, so I've also been on this journey and having my programming deconstructed and all of that. But my biggest problem that I have at this moment in time is
it's not so much the letting go, that it's this energetic high that I'm on all the time, and I find myself working more and more and sleeping less and less. Have you got any advice for that maybe? Because yeah, I'm going from like 9 hours of sleep back to like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and I'm not too sure if that is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, no, that's an interesting situation. I've never come across that before, but were you feeling bad most of your life?
Well, I suffered from bipolar syndrome, but I was wrongly diagnosed. Now that I've started doing like my energy healing work that I've done, you know, it was stuff that was passed on to me that wasn't mine, that I've given back now. I don't know if you're into human design at all.
No, I don't know much
Okay.
about.
No. Okay. But basically, I'm one of those people who don't need a lot of sleep, but I find myself that when I do need sleep, I do need a lot of it. So I'm trying to find a balance between working and sleeping, because I do this full time. So
Yeah,
it's not so much.
I would suggest setting some. I think most humans need at least 6 hours. My mom was bipolar, so I'm not saying that this is independent to you, but you have to be cognizant of the fact that this extra excited stage, I'm not saying it is part of that, but it could be something to do with that. So your job is going to be to create balance. And your job, the conversations you have with yourself, to put yourself back to sleep. So if you get up in the morning, put on some delta waves and get another 2 hours. Force yourself. So you've got a different situation. You're going to have to force yourself to create the new normal with a bit less high energy and bring it back to a bit more, because everything in the human body is craving homeostasis. Everything is craving balance. So I don't have a lot of advice for you, but other than the fact that I would force myself to get at least 7 hours every night. And I would be looking on YouTube, and I would be researching different topics to learn and hear other people that have set themselves free from bipolar or whatever it is, and start seeing if there's some examples out there that can help you with that. But do you drink stimulants?
No, not at all. So I don't drink alcohol anymore. I'm not on any medication. I haven't been for the last 7 years. So I'm not on anything like that. I've gone down to like herbal teas if I do. I do like coffee, but I only drink 1 cup a day. So it could be the coffee.
Are you, when you can't sleep, is it because you're ruminating and you're not comfortable and you want to do more work, or is it because you're so excited you want to go and do it? It's because are you working this much because you're having so much fun, or is it because you're so driven and kind of coming from stress?
No, it doesn't come from stress at all. It is more the high of me enjoying what I'm doing because I'm living passions now, instead of being in corporate. Because when I was in corporate, I used to sleep a lot. And now that I'm out of corporate and I'm doing this and I'm aligning it more with my passions, and I've deconstructed a lot of programming, now I find that I don't need as much sleep. But I know there is health benefits of sleeping as well. So I'm just a bit confused about where should I draw the line.
If I was you, based on what you told me, I would get off the caffeine. And if I had to have something, I'd have green tea or decaf. But if I was in your situation, I wouldn't go anywhere near stimulants, just being straight up with you. And I would get to bed at 10 o'clock. So at least make sure that you're getting sleep between 10 and 2 a.m. because that's your normal biocircadian rhythm. And that's why if you go to sleep at 1 o'clock at night and you sleep 9 hours, you won't get the same sleep as someone that sleeps 4 to 5 from 10 to 2. You can't replace it. So, and I would do a letting go session in the day, my friend. You might be okay with 5 hours. If you're operating on energy and excitement for life, then fill up your boots, and you're not running around fucking crazy and getting on calls with people so excited. You seem pretty balanced to me. You seem like you've done a lot of great work. So keep going, but give yourself a reboot in the middle of the day and let go to my hypnosis audio or delta waves and allow your body to rest, because that's the thing you're going to need to be careful with. The last thing I'll ask you is, are you doing resistance training?
No.
Body weight exercises. You got to start working your body. You got to start.
Our gyms are closed in South Africa, so we don't have that luxury right now. So I haven't been to the gym in 3 months.
There's no excuses. You put it on. I don't mean it. No excuses to you, but you put it on YouTube and type body weight exercises. You could do 200 push-ups after this call right now at home. No, but you could do 10, 20. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing to finish off, that's the last thing I'd add to you, is that you need to get physical. You need to start releasing some of this energy. And I think you're going to start to sleep a little bit more if you exhaust your body.
Okay, I'll definitely try that. I'll go for a run. If that's
yeah,
okay.
if it's running or whatever it is. But I would, and if the running doesn't work, I would recommend training your muscles, because if you don't train your muscles, they atrophy. And if you train them, they grow. So all of you on the call right now, your muscles are dying if you're not training them, but you could do some simple home body weight exercises and you're creating youthing in your body. So we're all working here to get money to take care of ourselves, but we're not doing the things that'll make our body grow. It doesn't make any sense that we've all been programmed to accumulate wealth, but not to accumulate wealth inside the body. So that's another tip, is to try and do some physical exercise, my friend. But congratulations.
Awesome, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Super exciting. Congratulations. It's amazing. Well, I'm super excited to be here. And if you guys want to have me back, I'll come back next month. I'd love to be a part of your group. I'll let Tegan reach out to me, but thank you so much for having me. And I'm gonna go sit with Joy and have some chicken curry and some morning glory. Yeah. Not that you guys needed to know what I was eating, but I'm sending you guys lots of love. I'm super excited that you've decided to become the greatest, most powerful version of yourself. And remember, dreams can come true. Dreams can come true, but you got to come home to yourself. You got to stand up and declare that I'm going to learn how to love myself, and do all the things that you can do to raise your vibration and make yourself feel as good as you can.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.